Good morning, students and parents. We're coming to you today from our Language Centre, last week from Science, today from the Language Centre. Thank you for the feedback about last week's little video, and we're just hoping to add to that a little bit today. I'm going to talk for a couple of minutes, and then Meredith Fettling, our Assistant Principal with responsibility for teaching and learning, is going to talk a little bit around assessment, dates and some key tips and advice for students. One of the things I wanted to mention is that we're getting a lot of questions about when will school resume and is it possible that school will resume this term. The answer is that we don't know. We're still planning on the basis that we're out for all of term 2, but of course we're hearing the same advice and news that everybody else is, that there's going to be some review of our current lockdown arrangements on May the 11th, and so it is possible that there might be something that occurs after that. So we're starting to contemplate what that might look like, and we'll let you know. I'm sure that'll be very public as soon as anything is announced, and you'll hear it at the same time that we do. Other things that are occurring is that we've got an opportunity for some practical classes perhaps to come in, and we've already commenced that in a couple of areas. So we know that there are particular challenges around practical activities in some of our subjects. So in a couple of areas, we've got teachers doing some planning around what that might look like. If that involves you as a student, then your teacher will contact you, and we will also contact parents if that occurs. I'm still continuing to hear feedback that the majority of our students are doing really well in this mode of learning, but we are a little concerned about the progress of some students. I think I made the point at the beginning of this exercise that there's no reason why any student should be disadvantaged, but I did say, don't disadvantage yourself. And some students could disadvantage themselves by not being organised, getting out of routine with their sleep, not getting work submitted on time. So where we're hearing that feedback, we are contacting individual students and families to try and support them. Please, if you're a parent, if you're a student, try and make sure that you are on top of things. Teachers will be sending you work. It's really important that you're monitoring what you're supposed to be doing and getting that back. We don't want to come back to term 3 or perhaps even later this term and find out we've got a really big backlog of students who are at risk of failure. We don't want that to occur. Our job is to try and get everybody across the line successfully and help students do as well as they can. So please get back on top of your work if for some reason you've slipped behind a little bit. I think that's just about it from me, and I'll hand you across to Meredith.
One of the common questions that we are getting from students who are doing a VCE and scored VET is around assessment and how that will operate. So we've got some advice from the VCAA for those assessments to continue, but as formative assessments. So students may well have already done some of those in some of their subjects, but they will certainly be doing some assessment tasks over the next couple of weeks. And what we're asking here is that students treat them as though they are a SAC, that the work is their own and that they complete those in the time that's allocated, and they do the necessary revision leading up to that. Now what will happen is once those tasks have been done and school resumes, and we know that it will eventually resume, that we will then moderate and determine the rank order based on further assessments that we're able to do under SAC conditions. And that will be the same for anyone who's doing a scored VET component as well. We are aware that for many students, the length of time that it takes to do a task from home may be a little longer than it would be in a classroom situation, and that's been recognised more broadly as well. So in order to enable a little bit more time to get through the Unit 3 content, the semester will be extended until the end of term 2, after which time we will produce some semester reports for you, and then Unit 4 and Unit 2 will commence once the holidays start again for term 3. We can do that because the VCAA have also made a decision to move a couple of their dates, and one is the end of year exams, so they have moved from October, November into December, and also the GAT has been moved from June to October, November. So we've got some extra time at the end of the year to enable us to catch up on the work that perhaps may have been missed through the remote learning situation for some students. What we've also been hearing from students is that those who have been able to manage the remote learning better are those who have been sticking to their timetabled routine. So getting up in the morning, starting their classes or their work at 9 o'clock, hooking in where necessary to their Google Meet so that they can actually have that personalised contact with a staff member, with their teacher. And then they can chunk their work. So sometimes students are saying, look, I'm working for a couple of hours on a particular subject, but they are deliberately starting at the time that they would normally start their classes, working through having a break, making sure that you get up, move around, look out the window, get some sunshine if it's a nice sunny day, making sure that you take breaks, having a lunch break, and then coming back and doing the work that you need to do. Those students are saying they're managing the process a lot better. For others who are struggling a little bit, it's a little bit of procrastination. I'm not really sure where to start. How will I concentrate on this huge list of things that I need to do? So our advice there would be to sit down and make a list of all of the things that you need to do, and then use that as your checklist. Allocate time within the day that you're going to work on each of those, and as you achieve them, tick them off so that you get a feeling that you're actually making progress and that it helps to motivate you internally. And please don't forget to upload those onto Compass for your teachers so that they know that you are engaging in the learning. So there's some of the tips and tricks from other students. Over the next week or so, we will be asking all of the students to complete an authentication document, which has been sent out to us from the VCAA. This is around you telling us and signing a declaration that basically says that the work that you're doing is your own, because of course that's actually really important. There is no point in trying to copy someone else's work or going onto a website and doing a lot of cutting and pasting. This is around learning, and you don't get a lot of learning done if you do try to borrow and use someone else's work. So through our advisor meetings, we will be giving you some more information about that, and we do require you to get those back to us. So keep up the good work, and please reach out to your teachers. They are there as a resource for you, and they are desperately keen to support you through this really interesting time in education. And please don't hesitate to contact the college if you need to. Good luck.